What happened when your patrol stumbled into a wedding ceremony in hostile territory? We were 3 hours into a routine sweep through a village outside Fallujah when everything went sideways. It was July 2008, middle of the surge. My squad was checking compounds for weapons caches, standard house-to-house stuff. Staff Sergeant Miller had us moving in tactical formation, staying alert for IEDs or ambushes. We approached this one compound that looked abandoned from the outside. No lights, no movement. Exactly the kind of place insurgents like to stash equipment. Miller signaled for us to stack up on the door. I was point man that day. Specialist Jake was covering my 6. Private Ryan watching our flanks. Standard breach protocol. Miller gave the signal and I kicked in the door. Instead of an empty room or hidden weapons, we walked straight into a traditional Iraqi wedding ceremony. About 60 people in their finest clothes, music playing, the bride in white sitting next to her groom. The music stopped instantly. Everyone froze. 60 pairs of eyes staring at 4 heavily armed American soldiers who'd just crashed their most important day. You could hear a pin drop. The bride started crying. Not from fear, from heartbreak. Her wedding day was ruined by foreign soldiers barging in like barbarians. The groom looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. Miller quickly lowered his weapon, signaled for us to do the same. But the damage was done. This family had saved for months, maybe years, for this celebration. Now it was destroyed by American boots and body armor. The father of the bride, an elderly man in traditional robes, stepped forward. He spoke broken English, trying to explain this was a wedding, not a weapons meeting. His hands were shaking, probably expecting us to arrest everyone. That's when Miller did something that changed everything. He removed his helmet, set down his rifle, and walked toward the bride and groom. The entire room tensed up, not sure what this American soldier was planning. Miller reached into his cargo pocket and pulled out his wallet. From it, he took a folded $20 bill and placed it on the table next to the bride. Then he stepped back and gave a formal military salute. In broken Arabic that he'd learned from our interpreter, he said what sounded like congratulations and an apology. The bride's father understood immediately. His face changed from fear to something like respect. Then the most amazing thing happened. The father motioned for us to sit. Not as soldiers, but as unexpected guests. He called for extra chairs, extra food, extra celebration. We spent the next hour as honored guests at an Iraqi wedding. They fed us traditional dishes, showed us their customs, treated us like family instead of occupying forces. The bride even smiled and posed for pictures. Jake, who carried candy for local kids, gave the couple his entire stash as an impromptu wedding gift. Ryan contributed the playing cards from his pocket. I offered my spare pen, which might sound stupid, but the groom accepted it like treasure. When we finally left, the entire wedding party lined up to shake our hands. The bride's father pressed something into Miller's palm, a small piece of fabric from the bride's dress, a traditional blessing for protection. Miller kept that fabric in his helmet for the rest of our deployment, said it was the only thing that made sense about the whole war, treating people like humans instead of potential threats. 6 months later, we learned that same family had started providing intelligence about actual insurgent activity in their neighborhood, not because they were paid or threatened, but because they remembered 4 American soldiers who showed respect during their daughter's wedding. That $20 bill Miller left became part of their family story. They framed it and hung it in their home. When other American patrols passed through, the father would show them the money and tell the story of the soldiers who blessed his daughter's marriage. Miller got promoted to sergeant first class partly because of that incident. Command used it as an example of winning hearts and minds through simple human decency. The wedding story got included in cultural sensitivity training for incoming troops. Last I heard, Miller teaches leadership courses at Fort Benning. He still carries that piece of fabric now sewn into his dress uniform. Says it reminds him that sometimes the best military strategy is just being decent to people.